but how does it launch? Not bad. Hey guys, it's Sid with SVTPerformance.com. Today I've got a little review for you. See, Ford dropped off this Maverick Tremor edition the other day. I've been driving it around a little bit, and I wanted to give you guys just like an overall view of this thing. Then we're going to take it for a little ride on, dirt road. Nothing hugely challenging, but that's, to me, sort of fits what this little truck is for. I know not a ton of guys on the channel are super thrilled with these things, but I think there's a definite market for this. And I can tell you one thing, if you would like women to come up and talk to you at gas stations and things like this, you'll get a lot more attention with this than you will a Bronco Raptor. If you want to talk to dudes, get a Bronco Raptor, because every guy in the world will come up and talk to you about that. But this thing attracts women. For some reason, women seem to love this little thing. I think it's more accessible to more people than a half-ton truck or a big 1-ton or whatever, and I can see why. It drives like a car. You'll see a little bit more of that later, but I want to take you around, show you what the Raptor package, or not the Raptor package, the Tremor package is all about. I've got Raptor on the mind because I'm getting a Raptor R later today to drive around, so you might hear me mess that up a few more times. But this one's a Tremor. It has the Tremor appearance package and then the regular Tremor package. I had to sort of break this kind of thing down to figure out what's what. But basically the Tremor appearance package is $1,500 option. Gets you the painted roof and these decals, which look okay. I do like the painted roof and the painted mirrors, the matches right there. The decals I could live without, but they're fine. The regular Tremor package gets you the little accents on the grille, the color coordinated tow hooks, and paint on the wheels, Falcon off-roady-ish tires. But to me, the most important thing is it gets you a rear locker and a little bit more aggressive stance, about an inch taller than say the FX4 Maverick, which we've driven before, and that's on the channel. We've also driven a tuned one of these, and by the way, if you're going to get one, get a tuner for it. I know 5-Star Tuning in Florence, we drove one of theirs that was SCT tuned, and makes a huge difference. The thing makes 250 horsepower stock, and they pick up like 40-50 horsepower with a 93 tune. Good stuff. You also get these smoke tail lights, which those look really nice compared to the more bright red ones on the regular FX4 and other trim levels of Maverick. You get a sticker on the back, sticker on the side. I kind of wish this was an actual badge. I think that would have been cool, but they went with a sticker. This is a more budget-friendly vehicle, even though this one's stickered out at like $37,500. I think the only option this thing didn't come with is the luxury interior, and that's basically heated seats. This is a Lariat. It does have full vinyl seats with the Tremor stitching inside and the color coordinated stitching on the seats, which looks pretty good, I think. And then your regular Lariat interior, I think it looks pretty good. It's very utilitarian. Not a lot of soft materials. They're where you touch. So if you're going to go minimalistic on things, you definitely want this arm pad to be nice and soft, and it is, so you don't get fatigue in your elbow driving. I'm not a huge fan of the dial gear, but it's okay. And for whatever reason, every time I get in, I've always reached up here to start the thing. The engine start button being down here kind of gets me for some reason. I guess I'm just used to other Fords. But this thing is not bad. Now there's a giant horsefly in here, so that's great. I'll get to deal with that later. Does have spray and bed liner, 2-liter EcoBoost, of course. But the big thing is, with the Tremor package, you get a little bit more aggressive tires, this very nice paint, and just overall better appearance. Now, there's a certain demographic I think would be perfect for this vehicle, and I'm gonna get out on the road here and I'll tell you all about it. All right, we're loaded up here, so let's put her in drive, go for a little ride. We're in a wildlife viewing area, which is sort of like public hunting grounds here in Horry County, and I think it's great that, you know, we have stuff like this around here. that we can all enjoy, and it's well maintained. The road is graded coquina and everything, so it's not like we're going to be stretching the four-wheel drive chops on this a whole lot. But that's sort of kind of how most people, I think, will use this type of little truck. It's a lifestyle type vehicle. You can use around the house, you know, go to Lowe's, get some potting soil or mulch or something, you know, haul about a half a ton in the bed, you know, not bad. The Tremor can tow 2,000 pounds. On the regular Maverick, you can get the 4,000 pound towing package. So with this, you're going to be limited to 2,000 pounds, and that's pretty low. You're like in one jet ski territory there, especially the new jet skis, you know, with superchargers and 4-strokes and all that kind of stuff. Not the old school jet skis like carbureted 2-strokes like I might have one of. But beyond that, you can fit 4 people in this thing fairly comfortably. You can haul a decent amount in the bed. I look at this as, if you can only have one vehicle and this is sort of like a younger person's vehicle. That's what Ford was going for with this. It's like, this is your first real car. You live in an apartment or, you know, the dorm, or you're getting your first house and everything. And no, you're not towing a Malibu ski boat or a 5th wheel camper or something like that. But you do need to make some general utility runs and things like that. It's very economical. You do give up some mileage with the Tremor package. This one, all the press guys that's been driving it, it's got 6,100 trip miles on it, and over that time it's averaged 24.3 miles to the gallon, which is pretty much what I would expect, given how press guys like to beat on stuff and everything. The regular Tremor, or the regular Maverick, you'll probably pick up another 2-3 miles to the gallon. You're losing some with the added height and the cut wind deflector on the front, so you're getting a little more windage. So that's where your mileage is going on this thing. Power wise, it's using the same engine, same 2-liter EcoBoost as all of the non-hybrid Mavericks, which I would really like to drive. I've never gotten a chance to get in one of the base model, you know, hybrid Mavericks to see what that's like. As far as driving this thing and the suspension and stuff, it's not harsh, but it is not like a super soft off-road suspension, which, if you think about it, no Tremor really is. I look at the Tremor package, they should have called it like the traction package, because that seems to be what the main feature on all Tremors. The Super Duty down to the Maverick, Ranger, all of that, F-150, they seem to focus mostly on added traction. And speaking of wildlife viewing, got a turtle we've got to avoid. So with this one, this is the only way to get a Maverick with a limited slip in the rear, or locker. It's actually, you can lock it, and you can lock 4-wheel drive and everything. The suspension's a 1-inch lift over, let's say, an FX4 Maverick, but it's not like it's not a Raptor. It's just not going to be. That's not what it's designed to be, and no Tremor is. So on the Super Duty, you get locker in the back, limited slip in the front, and the suspension's lifted a little bit, but it's not like it's super soft, you know, hardcore, I'm going to go fast off-road. It's meant to just meander trails, things like that, and then when it gets sticky, you've got the traction to get you there. And that's sort of how this is. So where I would see this thing being really useful, I went to school at WVU in Morgantown, West Virginia, and it would snow for a solid 6 weeks straight. The road would just be completely covered. That would be where this thing would be pretty good, because it's got a good all-wheel drive. Oh, sorry about that cut. Who would have guessed it? My camera overheated in July in South Carolina. But like I was saying, I went to school at WVU, Morgantown, West Virginia, and the roads would be packed with snow for 6 weeks at a time, easily. So that's where I think this thing would come in handy. The all-wheel drive system in it is competent. You throw in the rear locker and a little bit more aggressive tires, and I could see a lot of people replacing Subarus and other all-wheel drive cars and small SUVs with something like this to pick up the utility of having the truck bed. Someone specifically that comes to my mind who would have bought one of these things if Ford could just build them fast enough. I mean, you can't get one. I'm surprised they even had this one available for me to test drive. Is my grandfather. He's turning 90 years old this year, and he had a Ranger, really nice FX4 new Ranger, and the issue with it was he's 90 years old. He was 6'3" coal miner in low coal, so bad knees, and it's just harder for him to get up and down out of a fairly tall truck. But this thing has a nice low step in. He could just step right into it, still have the truck bed so he can haul chicken feed and whatnot that he needs around his little farm, and this would suit him well. So there's a lot of people that I think would really benefit from this little truck, and by the sales numbers, Ford's getting it. Road dynamics, like I said, a little trail like this is nothing. Has no issues at all with, a muddy little road. Not a problem. Out on the road, it drives great. It's like a car because it's sort of car-based. Let's get up here on the pavement, sling the dirt off, and that's just barely getting on it at all. I mean, not really at all. It's coming up to speed, and it's very smooth driving. No hands on the wheels, going straight down the road. It's great. You can check back my other Maverick reviews. This one drives just as good as that one did. It's just a little bit more off-roady oriented, which is great. I think it's got all its bases covered there. Now, as far as the Tremor package, that adds $3 grand. And to me, that's a kind of a chunk of change when the main feature is an off-the-shelf part from a Badlands Bronco, being that rear differential and the upgraded suspension, things like that. $3 grand's a little bit for that, but you are getting the better wheels and tires and the painted graphics and stuff, so it does set it apart somewhat, and I like that. So would I check the box for the Tremor version if I were buying a Maverick? Absolutely, all day. I can deal with a little bit less fuel mileage and maybe the 2,000 pounds less towing capacity. Yes, I would like the 4,000 pounds, but at the end of the day, if you have this thing, what are you towing? A lawnmower, a John boat? You're not towing, a big heavy camper or something like that. It's a front wheel drive based vehicle. It is what it is. Understand the limitations, and to me, I can trade up or trade off the 50% of that tow rating on something like this to get the better traction and, to me, the better looks. So I would definitely take this over, say, the FX4 model. Now, if you did need the extra towing capability, FX4 model is perfectly competent, but no matter what you do with one of these things, if you've got the 2-liter EcoBoost, get a tune for it, because it really livens up that transmission. See, this is a little washboarded through here. It livens up the transmission shifting. You're getting the most out of that 2-liter EcoBoost. It's bumping up the boost a little bit, giving it a little bit more timing. Yes, you're going to have to run 93. You can run 87 tune, but if you're going to tune it and you want the power, buy the 50 cent a gallon more expensive gas. I mean, really, you're already into a new vehicle and you're buying tuning and everything. Don't cheap out on fuel. That's all I'm going to say. But this thing, comfortable to drive, reasonably roomy. It actually has more room than the current Ranger. I like it. Would I buy one for my needs? No, because I need to tow a 32-foot Featherlight gooseneck trailer. I need a Tremor Super Duty. But if you are at the beginning or end of your life and you haven't accumulated too much junk like me, this thing is pretty great. I mean, be a fine college vehicle. It would be fine for just running down the Lowe's and picking up a few things. Great for that. And I think it'd be perfectly comfortable on a trip. Great daily driver. I would actually be more interested in this than the Bronco Sport, because the Bronco Sport, while if you wanted to go off-roading in a front-wheel drive based unibody vehicle, the Bronco Sport's definitely more capable of this just because it has a shorter wheelbase and better approach. So sorry for that cut again. It's summer in South, camera overheats. What are you gonna do? Like I was talking about, this thing has a lot of carryover parts from the Bronco Badlands. It's more off-road capable in the sense that it has better approach departure angles, breakover angles, things like that. This being longer wheelbase, you just don't have that. But if you think traction, that's what this thing has. Plenty of it. I think it would be perfectly suited for, you know, roads like this that can get a little slick when it gets a little wet, stuff like that. Great vehicle for that kind of thing. So if you're in the market for one, good luck finding one. Ford cannot build these things fast enough. Like I said, I would really like to get my hands on one of the base models just to try that out. I've never got to drive one. I think it would be kind of interesting. But until then, hope you guys found this interesting. I've definitely enjoyed driving this little truck. It handles pretty daggone good. It's peppy. Gets decent mileage, has pretty good utility. All around, I think it's a pretty good vehicle. Need more capability? Guess what? Ford has trucks for that too. Get yourself a Ranger, an F-150, a Super Duty. They got you covered. You know, what other manufacturer has 4 separate lines of trucks for you to choose from? 5 if you want to start counting F-650 and 750 medium duty trucks. You know, they just go on and on. Maybe they'll bring back the old LTL 9000. We can all go over the road again. But until then, I hope you guys found this thing interesting. I've enjoyed driving it. Please head over to SVT Performance. I've got a full write-up and everything with more information on this Maverick and a lot of pictures. And if you have any questions about this or my opinions on anything like that, post them up over there. That's where I'm likely to see it. I'll be happy to answer it for you. And I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, like, share, subscribe. Go to SVT Performance, put in your credit card number, all that fun stuff. You can do it. Just click the links. They're all around. Check that description. I'm sure they're there somewhere. There's more Maverick content on the channel, by the way. Look around for it. See you guys later. In the sense that it has better approach departure angles, breakover angles, things like that. This